Hey everyone, this is Neil once again from the Overclocker magazine. So today I'm here to talk to you not about a particular product, but something that I think we should all be aware of, especially if you mess around with overclocking and that sort of thing. And that's your PSU. Okay, so I had a story about 2 months ago. I never reported this when I was doing my reviews. I actually had a PSU die on me. The thing is, how it died wasn't that it just doesn't turn on or took some hardware with it. It's that it appears to be functional, but it's actually not. And I found this out when I was trying to test the 7900 XTX and then the 7800 XT that came afterwards. The reason you never even saw the 7900 XT review, and you will in future, is because the PSU that was powering my test machine actually died. I didn't know that this PSU had gone faulty, but over testing and eventually isolating the PSU after every other component or exhausting every other component, it turned out that it was a PSU that isn't obvious, that it's actually long past its sell-by date. So what ends up happening is that you end up getting a green screen. You try and run some games, you try and run some benchmarks, or once in a while you'll just get a random green screen. I had no idea what this could be, and it's part of the reason why diagnosing what the issue was took so long. And then I started to think, how long have I had that PSU? And what kind of hardware I'm actually powering with that PSU? And lo and behold, I've had that PSU for a very long time. I'm thinking about 7-8 years. At the time, it was the best PSU when it came out, but age, right? Components just age. And when it aged gracefully, but it won't tell you that, hey, you know what, I'm past my due date, so you better let me go. And as a result, I was thinking to myself, just as enthusiasts, as people who care about PCs and so forth, we should actually be checking our PSUs like every 3, 4, or maybe even 5 years at most. Because the last thing you want to happen is that you've got all this high-end gear and you are working and you're playing games and so forth, and the PSU lets you down. It won't happen necessarily the way that it happened to me, but for you, it might take out your motherboard, it might take out your PSU, it might take out both of those things or your graphics card. It might do a host of other things, or even be contributing to some other instability that you had no idea was related to the PSU, right? Some RAM instability or what have you. So as a result of that, I was thinking, previously I'd done a video talking about, if you're going to have an ROG motherboard, for instance, then you may as well have an ROG cooler. In terms of just user experience, you want one place where you can configure everything. You want your lights to sync up and all of that stuff. I would extend that even further and say here it's more than just convenience. It actually speaks to how you're going to use your machine. If you're already invested, for instance, in an ROG motherboard, in an ROG cooler, in an ROG graphics card like this RTX 4080 that I have here, then you may as well invest in a Thor PSU. And the reason I say you may as well invest in a Thor PSU is because the Thor series has proved itself several times over. So we all know the liquid helium records, LN2 records and so forth that are done at the ROG labs. They could have used any other PSU, but they use their own, and they're always the Thor PSUs. So obviously they've proved themselves under extreme conditions. In fact, I think at some point there was a CPU drawing over 1000 watts or 1500 watts. So you know that when it comes to actually producing the power and being reliable under very extreme conditions, the Thor series has it. So I'm thinking, even if you buy nothing else from ROG, just make sure that you get a quality PSU, because I'm telling you, you're going to spend less than 10 grand on it. You may even spend 9 grand on it, but such a PSU is going to last you a whole decade. And it will be one of the things that may even safeguard your VGA card, your expensive VGA card, your motherboard and so forth from brownouts and all sorts of other things that may happen with electricity here where we live. Anyway, with that said, what PSUs are you guys using generally? Are you using 1000 watt, 1500 watt? Is it gold, platinum, titanium rated? And how often do you even change your PSU? It's one thing that I'll be changing way more often now that I've experienced this. Anyway, with that said, let me know what you guys think in your comments below. Until next time, share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side.